Okay, so what we want to do is these are some other tools that I might not have covered. Now, as I said before, when you're looking at different windows and you're looking at the assignments on the blog, and now that you have a reference, you want to go back to the project, the best thing to do is to hit the F3 key on your keyboard at the very top, and all the windows will move to the side so you can see what's available to you so you can start working. So now I want to go back to Final Cut, so I click on Final Cut and Final Cut comes to the front. What some of you have been doing is moving the windows around, as I mentioned before, and you're kind of making things are getting messy, and it's hard to find the windows that you need, and some of you are using the red dot to close the window. If your project gets so you can't recognize it, click on Window, Arrange, Standard, and all the windows come back to a basic working concept for Final Cut Express that you always see me using in class. Now, remember, for clips, if you want clips in your timeline, simply click and hold and drag them to your timeline. And again, make sure the arrow is pointing down, drop it, let go, there it is. Now you can also double click the clip. It shows up in the viewer window and you can click and hold and drag it from there into your timeline as well. Now, if you want to make the project specifically, I know I always give you requests where the project has to be exactly 1 minute long. First I'm going to turn snapping off, hit the N, and I move my playhead and look to the left hand side over here where it says 5716. That's my time code, how long the project is. I'm going to move it to exactly 1 minute, and it's 1:59:28. And remember, 29.97 or 30 is 1 second. So let me expand the accordion just like that, so I can move my playhead to exactly 59:29. There it is, 59:29. There it is. So that's exactly 1 minute, because 29 frames equals 1 minute. 1 second, apologize. Now, where my playhead is, I want nothing to the right of that. So the best thing to do is grab the blade tool, come over to the playhead, and now I'm going to line up right underneath the playhead. And you can turn snapping back on and notice that the blade snaps as I get closer to it. It just snaps right to the playhead. Hold the shift key and it'll cut all the way down. Click the A to get my arrow tool back, and all this to the right of the playhead is past the 1 minute mark, so I will delete that. So my project ends at exactly 1 minute. Now remember, you also have to fade in and fade out to your project. So in the browser window, click the Effects tab, click the triangle for video transitions, click the triangle for dissolve, and in here you see the cross dissolve that we're using and the fade in, fade out dissolve that we're using. Let me move this over so you can see the full spelling. Now, the fade in, fade out, always grab it by the icon. Don't grab it by the words, because you want to drop this exactly where you need to put it. So I click and hold, and I drag it down to my timeline, and notice there's a little X there. The X means that if I let go right here, nothing will happen. It'll go away because you can't put it there. So I'm going to put it on top of the clip, and always look for the shadow so you can see exactly where you're dropping it on the clip. Now if I move it to the left, see it's off the clip too and part on the clip. That's another option, but I want you to fade into the project, so move it to the right. And I let go, and there's the fade in, fade out. Let me expand the timeline with the accordion so you can see it a lot better. Here it is. So now as I play through, now let's go, and we want a cross dissolve in between both clips. So I go to the clip, the Effects tab, click on the icon for cross dissolve, click and hold, and drag down in between the two clips. and you see the shadow overlapping the two clips here. So I let go, and now the cross dissolve is on top of both. So let me play through. There's the dissolve. I'm going to click this warning off and click OK. Now, play through. There's your cross dissolve. Okay, now let's go down to the end of the clip, and we need to fade out. So here's my fade out. I click and hold, drag it down on top of the clip, and look for this. Wait for the shadow. Don't let go till you see the shadow. If there's an X, it won't drop it there. I put it down to the end. There's the shadow. I let go, and there's my fade out. So there I go. I'm gonna play. Hit the space bar, and there's my fade out. Now I want the music to fade out too. So let's go grab the pen tool, and I click on the music on the pink line to make a node, and I go to the end of the song to make another node, and I drop the last one. So now I'm gonna do it for this clip also. There. So we hear the motorcycles racing. We'll hear that fade out too, as well as the music. So I'm gonna back up, and let's play it. And here it goes. There we go. So you have a fade out. I faded out the music. Also did a fade in. And let me get my arrow tool here. There we go. There's my cross dissolve. And I can continue to put cross dissolves in between the other clips.